Have you ever wondered why desire burns brightest not in presence, but in absence? Why longing deepens not when everything is offered, but when something is withheld? Why the most unforgettable women are often those who mastered the art of silence, distance, and restraint? These questions are not tricks of seduction. They are revelations of psychology, philosophy, and the silent laws of the human soul. To enter this realm is to confront truths most fear to name, truths that Viktor Frankl's wisdom illuminates when brought into dialogue with love, loss, and feminine power. Desire is never born in comfort. It is born in tension. The first forbidden truth is that desire feeds on lack. A man craves not what he possesses but what eludes him. The instant he feels complete ownership, his longing diminishes. The woman who embodies detachment understands this, not as manipulation, but as reality. She does not drown him in her presence, nor starve him of it entirely. She offers glimpses, then withdraws. She reveals, then conceals. This rhythm creates the hunger that sustains obsession. Do you see it? The power is not in overexposure, but in restraint. The absence makes him ache, but this truth unsettles because it contradicts what most women are taught. They are told to give more, to explain more, to please endlessly. Yet Frankl reminds us, meaning is discovered not in indulgence, but in struggle. When everything is given, nothing retains value. But when something must be waited for, when something must be earned, then it becomes significant. And so the woman who can withhold without malice awakens not just desire, but meaning. Her detachment forces him to wrestle with the void inside himself. The second forbidden truth is that suffering intensifies attraction. Frankl observed that suffering, when embraced with courage, ceases to be mere pain and becomes a source of meaning. The same is true in love. A man who suffers the ache of absence does not weaken in his longing, he deepens in it. The woman who dares to let him suffer, who resists the urge to soothe his every insecurity, awakens in him a fire that comfort could never kindle. Yet this requires strength, for it is tempting to relieve his pain, to reassure, to explain. But relief kills longing, while suffering fuels it. Ask yourself, do you dare to let him ache, to let him struggle, to let him feel the tension of not having you fully? The third forbidden truth is that silence speaks louder than words. Jung wrote that the unconscious communicates in symbols and dreams, not in rational explanations. Likewise, a woman's silence becomes a canvas upon which a man projects his fantasies, his insecurities, his shadow. In her silence, he sees not only her, but himself. And because she does not rush to clarify, to correct, to justify, she remains mysterious. This mystery becomes obsession. The paradox is clear. By saying less, she becomes more. But silence is not passivity. It is active presence without unnecessary speech. It is the refusal to cheapen depth with noise. Frankl's logotherapy teaches that life questions us, and our task is to respond responsibly. The silent woman embodies this. She does not demand answers from men. She lets them confront their own unanswered questions in the void her silence creates. And that void, unsettling as it may be, becomes the crucible of attraction. The fourth forbidden truth is that detachment is not cruelty, it is sovereignty. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means refusing to collapse into neediness, refusing to chase what diminishes your dignity. A detached woman can love deeply, but she does not beg for love. She can care profoundly, but she does not barter her soul for attention. Men sense this immediately. They feel the weight of her freedom, and it terrifies them. For how do you possess someone who does not need to be possessed? How do you control someone who does not need your control? You cannot. And so the detached woman inspires a paradoxical obsession. He desires her precisely because she does not need him. Ask yourself honestly, do you dare to walk away if your worth is ignored? Can you endure the silence that comes when you refuse to explain, to beg, to chase? Most cannot. Most trade their dignity for temporary reassurance. But the woman who remains still in her sovereignty embodies Frankl's greatest insight, that everything can be taken from us except one thing, the freedom to choose our attitude in any circumstance. Detachment is that freedom. These are only the first glimpses into the forbidden truths, the laws of desire and detachment that shape attraction at its deepest level. To walk this path is not easy. It demands silence where you long to speak, restraint where you long to give, and dignity where you long to plead. But the reward is profound. The transformation of longing into meaning, of suffering into strength, of desire into something timeless. Yet three truths remain unspoken still, hidden in the shadows. They are darker, sharper, more dangerous than the ones revealed so far, for they demand not only restraint, but death. The death of ego, the dissolution of identity, the rebirth of sovereignty. Only those who dare to walk into shadow can bear them. Imagine this. You're sitting across from a man whose eyes reveal both hunger and unease. He cannot name what draws him, nor why he feels restless in your presence. He only knows that something in you unsettles him, awakens him, stirs him. This is the fifth forbidden truth. Ambiguity fuels desire more than clarity. The masculine psyche craves answers, yet it is the unanswered question that keeps him awake at night. Frankl taught that life itself is not something that explains. Life demands our response. In the same way, a woman who embodies ambiguity becomes not an answer, but a question. She does not reveal her every thought, nor does she place her heart fully exposed upon the table. She withholds, not to deceive, but to preserve mystery. Men may complain of this, labeling her distant, complicated, or too much. But beneath the protest is obsession. For obsession is born not of knowing, but of not knowing. Ask yourself, do you dare to let a man sit in his uncertainty, to leave some parts of you beyond his grasp? Or do you rush to clarify, to soothe, to reassure, fearing he will flee? The truth is simple. If he flees, he was never capable of meeting you in your depth. If he stays, it is because your ambiguity has awakened in him the same longing that life awakens in every human soul, the longing to discover meaning through struggle. The sixth forbidden truth is even more dangerous. Ego death is the root of freedom. Jung spoke of the shadow, of the need to confront what we repress. Frankl insisted that meaning can only be found when we step beyond the ego, beyond comfort, beyond safety. For women, ego often hides in the masks they wear. Being beautiful enough, pleasing enough, accommodating enough. These masks protect, but they also imprison. Ego death means allowing those masks to shatter. It means standing exposed, not as an image, but as a reality. Consider the woman who no longer fears being disliked. She does not twist herself into the shape of his preference. She does not silence herself to remain appealing. She does not collapse under the weight of disapproval. She has faced rejection, abandonment, loneliness, and yet she remains. This is ego death, the willingness to let false selves die so that the true self may stand unshaken. Men sense this and tremble, for a woman who has endured ego death is untouchable. She is free, and freedom is the one thing obsession cannot conquer. But do you dare this death? Do you dare to let illusions burn away? To lose the comfort of being chosen for the safety of being true? Most will not. Most will cling to the mask, but the forbidden truth remains. Only the woman who has let her ego die can wield her desire without being enslaved by it. And here lies the seventh and final forbidden truth. Transcendence is the ultimate seduction. Desire without detachment enslaves. Detachment without love isolates. But transcendence unites them both, freedom and intimacy, sovereignty and surrender. Frankl called this self-transcendence, the act of going beyond oneself, giving oneself to something higher, whether love, work, or suffering. The transcendent woman embodies this. She can love without begging, give without losing, surrender without being possessed. She does not chase obsession, nor does she fear it. She transforms it. Picture her. She has endured silence. She has carried suffering. She has withheld without cruelty. She has walked through ego death. Now she stands whole. She can meet a man's desire without collapsing into it, meet his obsession without fearing it, meet his love without clinging to it. She is free to choose, and in that freedom, her very presence becomes magnetic. She is no longer a riddle he tries to solve, but a mystery he reveres. Ask yourself, what would it mean to live this way? To embody sovereignty without pride, love without fear, silence without insecurity. To be the one who chooses, not the one who waits to be chosen. This is the heart of feminine transcendence. This is the ultimate power hidden in desire and detachment. But the journey to these truths is not without cost. To live them is to suffer, to endure loneliness, to be misunderstood. Men may call you cold, women may call you dangerous, society may call you arrogant. Yet beneath all these accusations lies the deeper recognition. You are free, and freedom, once tasted, cannot be relinquished. The 7 forbidden truths reveal themselves only to those willing to suffer their weight. They demand courage, silence, restraint, and rebirth. But once embraced, they unlock the essence of feminine power, a sovereignty that neither flattery nor rejection, neither obsession nor abandonment can ever shake. And so the question turns to you. Will you dare to embody these truths? Even when it costs you comfort, even when it leaves you alone, even when it forces you into the shadow, will you dare to choose dignity over desperation, meaning over validation, transcendence over possession? For only then will you embody what Frankl and Jung both pointed toward in their different ways, the woman who transforms suffering into power, silence into meaning, and love into freedom. The woman who knows her worth doesn't chase, she chooses.